All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on what really makes things like cryptocurrency tick. We're talking about the hidden engine, peer-to-peer networks, and distributed ledgers. So let's dive into what that actually means.
I mean, you hear the names all the time, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, but what's really going on under the hood? How is it even possible for them to work without some big bank or a central company calling the shots?
Well, it really comes down to this powerful duo. First, you've got a super special kind of network where computers can talk directly to each other. And second, there's this revolutionary type of database where, and this is the key, everyone holds an identical copy.
Okay, so let's break that down. We're going to start with the foundation, the real backbone of this whole thing, the network itself.
This is what's called a peer-to-peer or P2P network. And the key idea here, the really big shift, is that every single participant is an equal. There are no special computers, no central hubs. Everyone on the network can both send and receive information directly from everyone else. No middlemen.
So, let's put this in perspective. Think about a traditional network, like your bank's website. Everything you do has to go through one central server. And if that server goes down, the whole system just stops. But in the P2P world, there is no center to fail. Communication is this massive web, which makes the entire network incredibly resilient. One part can go down, and the rest just keeps on chugging along.
So what's the crucial takeaway from this design? Well, you get a system with no single boss, right? All the participants, we call them nodes, are on equal footing. This means it has super high fault tolerance. Individual nodes can drop out, and it doesn't crash the network. And it's also really scalable. It's just a fundamentally more democratic and, honestly, a much more robust way to build a network.
Okay, so that makes sense, right? We've got this resilient network where everyone's an equal. But what are they actually sharing? What's the information that all these peers are passing back and forth? What's the thing that actually lives on this network?
And that brings us to the second key piece of the puzzle. If the P2P network is the communication system, this next part is the shared memory. The best way to think about it is like a magical, unchangeable, shared notebook that everyone has a copy of.
This notebook is what we call a distributed ledger. It's a special kind of database, but here's the twist. Instead of living on one central server somewhere, it's copied and spread out across the entire P2P network. Every single participant holds an identical, synchronized copy.
And because everyone has a copy, you get some absolutely amazing properties. Just like the P2P network it lives on, there's no single point of failure. If one person's computer goes offline, it doesn't matter. The ledger lives on. It also creates this incredible transparency and makes the data extremely hard to mess with. I mean, to cheat the system, you'd have to somehow change all the copies at the exact same time. Good luck with that.
Okay, so now we have our two puzzle pieces, a network of equals and this shared synchronized notebook. So what happens when we click them together?
Well, first, you lay down the foundation. That's the P2P network. It's the decentralized system that lets all the participants talk directly to each other, with no central authority getting in the way.
And then, on top of that network, you place the data itself, the distributed ledger. This is the information that's being shared, verified, and maintained by all the peers on that network. And right there, you have it. A peer-to-peer network plus a distributed ledger equals blockchain. It's really that elegant. So, in the real world, a blockchain is a distributed ledger that operates on a peer-to-peer network. Every node, every computer running the software, holds a full copy of the entire blockchain. So when a new transaction happens, it's just broadcast directly to everyone. And then the group, the network itself, collectively agrees on whether it's valid, all without needing a boss to give the final okay.
So that's the mechanics of it. But what's the big picture here? Why is this combination so revolutionary? Why should you care?
Here's the most crucial point. By combining a P2P network with a distributed ledger, you can create systems that are trustworthy and that just work without needing a middleman. You don't need a bank, you don't need a government, you don't need a big tech company sitting in the middle validating everything. The network itself takes care of it.
And that leaves us with a pretty profound question, doesn't it? We've seen this model work for money and data. But if we now have a blueprint for creating trust and agreement without needing a central power, what else could we decentralize next? What other parts of our world could be rebuilt from the ground up on this foundation?